Before cell phones, before emails, there was a time when everything important in life fit inside an envelope. This is the story of one such letter and how it changed everything for the little house on Maple Street. Blue Book Story, the last letter from Maple Street. In the golden days of fall 1958, the leaves on Maple Street fell like soft whispers on the sidewalks. It was the kind of street where kids still played kick the can after school, mothers hung laundry on lines, and radios buzzed softly with the news or Nat King Cole. At the end of that street stood a white clapboard house with green shutters, number 214. It belonged to Mrs. Lillian Harper, a widow who had once been the neighborhood's most cheerful soul. But these days, she rarely came outside. Her once bright garden was overgrown, and the cheerful chimes by her door no longer rang. Everyone knew why. 2 years ago, her only son Henry, a young Army private, had gone missing overseas. Not declared dead, not confirmed alive, just missing. The war had ended, but Henry never came home. Still, every afternoon at exactly 3 o'clock, Mrs. Harper would walk to her mailbox in her pressed sweater and pin-curled hair. She'd open it, peek inside, and walk back, usually empty-handed. But she never missed a day, not even once. The kids on the block would watch her from behind bikes or porch railings. Even they knew something heavy lived inside that mailbox. Then came a day in mid-October. It was a Friday, and inside that weathered green mailbox was a letter. The envelope was creased, the ink slightly faded, but it was there, stamped and postmarked from a military base in Germany. Mrs. Harper didn't open it right away. She stood still, trembling gently, clutching the envelope like it might disappear. Her neighbor, Mr. Carver, who often watched from across the street, slowly approached. "You all right, Lillian?" She nodded, her voice caught in her throat. "It's from Henry." Yellow Circle Part 2, A Letter Across Time. Inside her home, she finally sat down at the old dining table, hands shaking. She opened the envelope with care, like turning the pages of something sacred. Inside was Henry's handwriting, familiar loops and crooked lines, and a photograph. It was a picture of him, standing beside a group of children in front of what looked like a church. His uniform was dusty, but his smile was the same. And then the letter. "Dear Mama, I hope this reaches you. I've been staying in a small village after my unit was ambushed. The people here took me in, fed me, gave me shelter. It took me a long time to recover, and even longer to find a way to get a message out. But I'm alive, Mama. I'm coming home soon." Asterisk. Tears fell before she could read the rest. Her son was alive. The letter had taken months to arrive. The address had been scribbled wrong and redirected, but somehow it had made its way to Maple Street. Mrs. Harper walked to the window and pulled open the curtains for the first time in months. The sun poured in. Dust danced in the beams of light. And for the first time since 1956, she smiled. Yellow Circle Part 3, The Return. By Thanksgiving, word had spread. Henry Harper was coming home. The neighbors trimmed their hedges. Kids made welcome signs. Even the local bakery baked him a pie. On the morning he was due, the whole street lined up by the sidewalk. Mrs. Harper stood by the gate, a corsage pinned to her sweater, holding the photo he'd sent in one hand, and a pressed handkerchief in the other. At 9:06 a.m., a yellow taxi rounded the corner. When the door opened and Henry stepped out, thinner, older, but very much alive, the air on Maple Street stopped moving. People clapped. Some cried. But no one louder than Mrs. Harper, who ran to her son and held him like she never would again. Yellow Circle Part 4, The Home That Waited. Henry never talked much about what happened overseas, but he planted a garden in his mother's yard, repainted the porch, fixed the fence. The chimes above the door rang again. Kids came by to help him with the garage, and sometimes he would read them stories on the lawn. The house on Maple Street, once silent, now echoed with laughter again. The old mailbox, the one that brought that miracle letter, was polished and painted. And every Christmas after, Mrs. Harper would tuck a little thank you card inside it, not addressed to anyone, just placed there with care. Yellow Circle Epilogue, Memory on the Breeze. Years passed. Mrs. Harper passed on peacefully in her sleep, just after Henry married a schoolteacher named June. Her obituary simply read, "Beloved mother, beloved neighbor, keep her faith." Henry kept the house. And every October 18th, he places a copy of that letter in the mailbox, now sealed in a weatherproof frame. It's yellowed now and the photo has faded, but the message remains clear. I'm alive, Mama. I'm coming home soon. Because sometimes hope really does arrive in the mail.